Hi, I'm Bailey Toyota. I'm a student therapist, and today I'm going to be answering your questions about mental health. So, starting with the first one, why do I feel sad on my birthday? Okay, well, starting out strong. I mean, the first things that come to my mind when I think that is sort of like the expectations that we have, the ones that we put on ourselves, the ones that society puts on us, the ones that society pushes us to put on ourselves. A lot of it is just about expectations in the end. There's such a strong narrative that we're supposed to be happy on our birthday, or even worse, that like we're supposed to be like actively doing something on our birthday. We're supposed to be throwing large parties with all our friends, but like, what if we don't have friends? What if our friends are far away? What if we don't have the time or energy to? What if you just can't really like fit the expectations of what you think a birthday is supposed to be? It's normal to feel sad on your birthday. I just think we ought to cut ourselves a little bit more slack. Why do compliments make me feel uncomfortable? Well, I mean, there's so many different ways. I'm gonna take this in good faith and assume it's like a very appropriate compliment that we're talking about here. I find that a lot of challenges with self-esteem are like people thinking that they aren't worthy, that they don't have the positive features that they want. There's a lot of societal standards, the expectations that I'll draw upon from the previous question, of course, that kind of just make us always feel like we're not enough. So when a compliment comes in, it's challenging that view. So we're gonna feel like a lot of disruption in our body. We're gonna feel like we wanna argue. Being able to take a compliment and feel more comfortable with it is honestly one of the most beautiful signs of growth. Okay, next question. Why do I always want to cancel plans that I was excited for? Well, listen, we're making plans in advance. You're not going to be the same person when you get to that point. You're a different person than who you were when you made those plans. Maybe you just feel a lot worse. You feel a lot more down. You feel a lot less motivated on that day than the day that you made the plans. Making plans is exciting. It's hopeful. It's telling you have those plans and you know that there's going to be something to look forward to. A lot of times it's not as much work to make the plans as it is to actually follow through with the plans, and that becomes much less of a concept and much more of a reality as these plans get a lot closer. And sometimes it is right to skip. We don't want to always push ourselves too much. I do sometimes think it's worth pushing through. These plans that you follow through on are the ones that build community, and community is one of the best supports you can have in this life. Why do I feel like an outcast in my friend group? I mean, everyone's gonna have their own experiences for this very, very universal, very human problem of just sort of feeling like we don't belong in the sort of things. I feel like it's often a lot of times the most compassionate people that are thinking about this. We can do a lot to make other people feel more welcome. We can text them first, we can organize plans with them, all these types of things to make other people feel more welcome. But to feel welcome yourself, we often tend to rely on other people for that, and other people don't always know the things that we need to be able to feel welcome. Weirdly enough, this makes me think about like a parenting tip that I heard about saying, you don't tell your kid, I'm so proud of you. You tell your kid, you should be so proud of yourself. Those kinds of words really help to set you up to realize that you matter to yourself. While you're gonna matter to other people, that first step of mattering to yourself is always gonna be the most fundamental. How do I feel more comfortable exploring my gender identity? Well, I feel like in the idealistic world, I would just say something as simple as, oh, just explore a bunch of things, see what works for you, do more of what feels good, do less of what doesn't feel good. I remember for me, I had to really, really slowly ease into it. The world really doesn't feel like a safe place a lot of the times for that. I remember like 10 years ago painting my nails and going out for the first time and just having that be such a challenge. One person looks at you funny and and suddenly it just feels like it's just not safe. You need to go inside. Transphobia really does keep our community down, especially the people who are still in the closet, the people who are trying to come out. We get the message that we're not safe, and then we tell ourselves that we're not safe. So even when the dangers aren't present, we're not going to feel safe. The trick is to get around that, and I think the best single tip I could give for feeling more comfortable with that is to look to others, look to role models, look to the people who are doing the kinds of things that you want to do, presenting the ways you want to present. Look for these stories of success, because even though we are such a small minority, there's success stories everywhere. There's a reason that drag is an art form, to be so over the top, to be so analytical about what gender is. these role models are the trailblazers that are really guiding us to the life that we want. That last question kind of took me by surprise. Anyway, thank you for joining me. My name is Bailey, and this has been Ask a Therapist.